Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. I am Gav, and I've got Kev with me, and it's Monday night, and we're going to do a little bit of chat around the weekend's football that has just finished at the King Power Walkers Filbert Street Stadium. It's one of those, isn't it, Kev? Leicester have drawn 1-0 with Spurs, and so that's the full round of fourth round of fixtures. Finished and done with. So we're going to have a little chat around them, a little chat around transfer stuff, and then we'll see how we go from there. Kev, how are you?
Really good. Nice to have football back, but I think it was a bit like everyone else this weekend. I took an awful lot of it in moderation. I didn't want to be jumping straight in and watching every single game that was going. You got to pace yourself with this. Watched ours. Watched a bit of the Chelsea-Man City game. Watched most of tonight's game. And that's pretty much it. Watched Match of the Day. And caught up today with Bernard Gallagher, or what's his name? The ref.
Dermot Gallagher.
Dermot Gallagher. Brendan Gallagher. He was the golfer, wasn't he? what was his name? He was a Ryder Cup captain.
Yeah, he's a Ryder Cup captain. Yeah. Jesus, Kev. I hate when people do this. Someone done this to me the other day and they were like, what's that girl's name again? And I was like, oh.
You're one.
It was not Dermot Gallagher. It'll come to me now in a minute. I can't remember.
But anyway, it was a nice
Bernard
weekend.
Bernard Gallagher.
Bernard Gallagher.
Yeah.
That's it. Because his daughter used to do the commentary as well, didn't she? She was the present. Yeah, his daughter was a presenter for Sky for years.
Oh yes. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Kirsty Gallagher.
That's the one.
Yeah, notice how I remembered her name and not his. But no, to be honest with you, moderation is probably the way I'd look at it. I watched Liverpool. I caught a bit of that Man City Chelsea thing, but the way they were commentating on Man City just sickens me. So I quickly turned that off. I didn't see anything of tonight. I was editing a golf video tonight, which should be out in the next day or so. And our friend Brian, who's in the chat and does be always in the chat on the podcast, joined us last week. So that's being edited and that'll be out in the next day.
I've seen a bit of it. That you sent me. That course looks absolutely unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Looks stunning.
Can't wait to get back down. Can't wait to get back down to playing it. So if any golfers out there, Bunclody Golf and Fishing Club is the actual official name of it. Go and play it. I'm not going to say anything else. Just go and play it. Now we're coming into the autumn winter months, but the condition that golf course was in was a joke, to be fair. But getting on to the weekend stuff. I want to start with a couple of incidents, and then we get on to a couple of teams and where they are and stuff like that. But a couple of incidents that caught me eye over the weekend. There was the non-penalty for Everton, and the VAR check when he looked like he was looking at a screen that just said VAR on it. There was the was it Eze with the free kick for Palace?
Eze with the free kick, yeah. I didn't see the Everton one, so you have to talk me through that one.
I'll talk you through it now in a second. And there was the Eze free kick, and after that then there was the one against Liverpool, which is a yellow card or a possible second yellow card. Yeah. And we talk about that in a minute as well. But just starting with, VAR have set up their own, or somebody has set up their own Twitter account to explain what's going on. Obviously that guy from what was that guy, that lad, the most condescending fucker in the world? Dale.
ESPN Dale.
Yeah, ESPN Dale, so condescending. He was explaining everything last year. I haven't seen him recently. I probably haven't blocked, in fairness. But they set up this, and it's kind of a way of, bridging that kind of communication gap and stuff like that. And then, Liverpool play a half. Does the United game on Friday night? I don't think there's any incident in that. There's a Liverpool one, which I'll come back to in a little minute. But then the fourth real kind of VAR check, go to screen, such and such and such, by my reckoning, is Everton against Brighton. Everton, I think, are 1-0 down at the time. It's early in the second half. What happens is Brighton try to play the ball out from the back. It's a poor pass into midfield. They get caught. It drops into the box for Calvert-Lewin. He takes a touch to his left, nearly going away from goal, around the penalty spot. Lewis Dunk slides in, thinking he's going to block a shot from Calvert-Lewin. And Calvert-Lewin stands on Lewis Dunk's ankle and then hits the deck. The referee points to the penalty spot, right? Now the Brighton players go bananas. They're like, no way. And the ref's like, relax, it's a penalty, it'll have to be checked. Now, what happens then after that is that VAR check it, and should realistically go, listen, whoever it was, refereeing, listen, it looks like he's going to shoot. The defender slides to block a shot. He's behind Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin actually stands on him. It's not enough in it. Drop the ball for the goalkeeper, but they don't. They call him over to the screen. He goes over to the screen, and what happens is he goes over to the screen, and he's standing there, and you know the way you have the screen with the kind of HUD over it, and literally it just says VAR on the screen. But the referee, and I don't know who the referee was, is looking down, right? So there's Everton fans going, he hasn't made the decision on footage here. He's looking at a blank screen. Now, Everton fans have clearly just decided not to tell anybody that he's not looking at the screen. He's looking down, right? Now, he's looking down, and you can see the engineer behind the thing kind of saying to him down there. But nobody can see the screen he's looking at, right? Now, whether he's looking at a screen or not for me, Kev, and whether he sees the footage or not, firstly, his VAR should have made the decision for him. And secondly, you know, how in the name of fuck can VAR not be ready on the first day of the season for a screen to work? And you're using the backup screen sitting on the ground. Everton fans, Garmax is there, Everton fans are going rasher over this. They are going mad over it because they actually have footage from the stand zoomed in on him. And he's standing there in front of the screen that says nothing. And then he turns around and gives the old sign for VAR and says no penalty. Right. But Kev, whether it's right or not, and I actually don't think it's a penalty, right?
Okay.
But Kev, like, honestly, Kev, like all the planning that goes into this Premier League season for players, for managers, for staffs of football clubs, security, police, whatever it might be, right? TV, whatever it might be, to not have a screen working, Kev.
The saving grace is they had a backup. That's about the saving grace.
Well, then put the backup, Kev, lying at an angle where people can see he's looking at it.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I mean, they are all about transparency, especially with the social media account as well. And I mean, even tonight there was an incident with the Leicester game that they actually got it wrong on the social media account, where there was a penalty shout in the second half that Leicester could have had, and they're saying the contact was outside the box. It wasn't. It was inside the box. It was minimal, and you're going to get used to this phrase that came out tonight, and it was used a few times over the weekend. Referee's call. Referee's call is literally the new get out of jail free card. This is what the referee saw, and we're just backing up the referee. And whether it's right or wrong, that's what they've decided to do. And you see it with, you said the monitor didn't work. We already have semi-automated offside system that works everywhere else in the world except England.
Yeah.
And they're trialing a brand new one that's going to be even super duper better, and it's not ready.
No, of course it's not. I'm not without getting into this, because I get into this where I think it was actually last week. Of course it's not ready, because they've had months and months. It's literally like the PGMOL and the Premier League have said, listen, our out of office emails are off after the last kick of the ball in the season, and don't come back near us until the 16th of August. And then we look at stuff and they go, what about the offsides? Well, look, we're only back in today. It's going to take till October to do it. Like, it's, but like, look, people think I've brought this up because it's Everton. I haven't. I've brought it up because no matter who it is, right? Fair enough if a screen goes down. It can happen. Yeah. I know more than anyone, a screen can go down, a camera can go down, sound. I know more than anyone that can happen. But the thing is, like, the position they're in, they should be saying to people, listen, that screen is up there. There's the backup one. Literally, I want the backup one on a fucking tripod below it.
Yeah.
In view of everybody.
No
just to make... Just stop making things difficult for yourself. Stop putting yourselves in these positions.
The one thing that I noticed when I went back and I looked at RefWatch today, debates that I saw, there wasn't much intervention from VAR across the 10 games at all. It's almost as if they've picked a few things that they want to focus on for the first 3 or 4 games. We saw some of it in the Liverpool game where it was take the throw-in from the right place, blocking off players they're going to be hot on. They're looking for it, and they're blowing up for it really quickly. And the one or two other little niggly things. But what we saw in the Euros, players talking to referees, that seems to be fine now. Players can talk to referees and what have you. But what you're going to find, and what the English clubs are going to find, the ones who are involved in Europe, the UEFA referees are going to referee the game totally differently again. So you're going to have one set of rules that the Premier League are trying to adapt and play by, and the rest of Europe are going to be playing by the same rules for the rest of Europe. And that's how it feels like it's coming across. The very bare minimum intervention from VAR is what we're going to see for however long this lasts until there's a howler. They just want the referee to be the sole arbiter of everything, and will do everything humanly possible to back them up and not contradict them in any way.
Yeah, because the thing is, the reason they won't do that is because if you make the referee the sole arbiter, and I've no problem with the referee being the sole arbiter once they stand by their decisions, but they don't. Yeah. What they do is they hide behind the decisions. So what you can do is, again, you create this somehow grey area where it goes to VAR. And we're going back fucking 2 and 3 years now. But they go to VAR, it goes to a screen, they can't make a decision, they call him over, he makes the decision, and then it's like question, and they don't have to answer it. No. But apart from they got the decision right there at the weekend, my only thing on that is that, lads, stop fucking making these situations for yourselves. Like, first day of the season. First day of the season. They've made a situation for themselves. Whether you're an Everton fan, you believe they got the decision wrong, or whether you're a fan of anybody and you thought they got it wrong or right, the biggest talking point of it is, where is he looking at the screen? Why isn't the screen working? Where is he looking? Nobody can see the screen because it's down below the level of the pitch, and the angle you're at, nobody can see it.
Nobody can see it. No.
You would have to be probably 50 feet up in the air in the Gladys Street to get an angle down to look at that, and they simply don't have it. But look, it
was the right decision. So,
it was the right decision, but they've still made a situation of. They've managed to make a situation of a decision that they got wrong or correct. Sorry. The second thing is the Eze free kick, and I'm amazed that this didn't stand. I'm amazed that this didn't stand.
I felt gutted for the ref because it's his first game ever in the Premier League. And you can imagine him the night before. Please, please, please let it happen to someone else. Don't let it happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's literally been told from the powers that be, this is what you're going to focus on. If you see a player blocking off another player during a set piece, you blow it up. Yeah. And if he believes that that's what he saw and he blew it up, he's following the direction that he's been given. All he had to do was wait a second. If that ball goes in, and it's one thing, I'll give Dermot Gallagher all the credit in the world for what he said in Ref Watch today, and he was dead right. Give it the time. But if the ball goes in, give yourself the time then to be able to make a decision.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kev, on this, right, is a couple of things on it for me. We've seen players run into offside positions that 5 yards offside and that flag doesn't go up. And it plays on, and they have a shot, and it goes in, or it hits the side netting, or Alisson makes a save, right? Because it happens so much by Liverpool, and then the flag goes up, and you go, lads, can you not look? Can you not look at that and go, he's miles offside? Like, stop that. Like 5 years ago, you would have made that decision. Yeah, why aren't you making it now? Just make it. It's so easy to make, right? That's the first thing. So they allow loads of things to continue on in the game, right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing in it. The second thing is, let's take, for example, Eze is running through on goal. Let's say he's running through on goal, right? And he's 20 yards from goal. He's approaching the box. There's a defender trying to get back to him. The defender's 10 yards, 15 yards behind him. He's broken through from let's say he breaks an offside trap, runs from his own half. He's through. There's nobody within 25 yards of him, right? Nobody. Yeah. There's a striker and a defender running towards him. You know, one's backing up the play, one's trying to get back. And they tangle legs and they go down. Right? And he sticks the ball in there. Should the referee call it back because there's been a foul 25 yards behind him?
It's one of them. If he has to make that decision 99 times out of 100 again, he'll let the ball go in the net. And that's what he should have done. And no one can say any different. There's an argument over to whether there's a foul or not. I mean, you can have a discussion about whether there's a foul or not. I don't think there was. But if they're going to be coming down on defenders blocking off runners for space, which is what happens all the time at every set piece, if they're going to start coming down on that, then fine. And you can make the argument that there is a block in there.
Yeah, but
But you have to
the
let
way
it
they're
play out.
refereeing this, Kev,
You
is
have to let it play out.
the way they're refereeing this is that if a defending player blocks off a forward running, it seems to be all right. If an attacking player stands on the other side of a defensive thing and runs out and blocks somebody running in, it's the exact same block, by the way. It's a player stopping another player from getting into an area to try to head a ball. It's blown up for. But you're dead right. You know what I mean? And Carl says there, referee can change his mind before the restart. But the thing is, on this is, the referee has blown this whistle before the ball's hit the net. Like, the ball's literally being kicked and he's blown a whistle. You know what I mean? But my argument is, I'm with you. I'm with you on the whole thing. Let it go for a second. See where the ball develops. If the ball goes into that area where he thinks the foul is, you blow up. Yeah. If the ball flashes over the bar, you go, there was a foul in there, but look, they're getting the bleeding goal kick anyway. Yeah. That's fine. Do you know what I mean? But my thing is that if you have Eze running through on goal, like, I'll go back to if you have Eze running through on goal, and he has a defender and a forward 20 yards behind him, and the forward happens to clip the defender's legs as they're running, right? In any other part of the game, it's a free kick. Do you stop the game? Because there's a free kick over here.
Didn't we have it? Was it a few years ago, and Origi was going through and he was clipped. And
you're searching my memory now, Kev.
Oh God. I'm pretty certain.
There was one in the League Cup. There was one in the League Cup final where Endo blocks off a Chelsea defender. And
no. This was different. This was definitely in the league, and it was. I'm sure it was Origi was fouled in the build up to a goal that we conceded. I think it was against Manchester United, and they never went back for the foul. They just let it go.
You're talking about the one where the ball's played to Origi and is a Lindelof.
Rashford.
Lindelof goes through him and the ball goes down the wing, it's across the back post, and Rashford scores. But that was a case of VAR where they never looked at it. They just said no,
they didn't go
it's
back
no foul. It was no foul. They just decided there was no foul.
Yeah.
Carl says there he blew the whistle. That's the problem. But
yeah, the thing is, once he blows the whistle, he's put a straitjacket on himself. He can't do anything else. VAR can't intervene because everything that happened after he blew the whistle didn't happen. So he literally put a straitjacket on himself. That's why I'm saying, if he let the play evolve how it naturally would, if you saw a foul, give it. If ball goes in, you stop and you check it if there's a foul or not. You can go and give yourself time to make to take a second look and be right about this, because if it's a goal decision, you've got to be 100%.
But the thing is, if he doesn't blow the whistle, and it goes in the net, but he sees the foul, I wonder what decision he gives.
Well, the thing is, if he does it, it will still go to VAR to be checked. It's a case of he would have highlighted it. I think there was a foul in there. Can you check that?
Yeah. But it's nothing to do with what happens with regards to Eze just pinging one in from 35 yards off the right wing.
It's one of those we'll never know. It's what's and maybes. But as it stands, I think that was probably the standout VAR shout of the weekend that I saw. Anyway, there was another one. Newcastle, the red card. Should it have been a red card or not?
No, I didn't see this one, but I heard someone just headbutt somebody.
He didn't. He literally. I mean, if his hair was any shorter, he'd have missed him. Right. It was, it was one of them. But he got sucked in. Brereton Diaz, sold him a pub, dived, call it what you like. But at the end of the day, Fabian Schär is experienced. He's long enough in the tooth now to not be drawn.
And once there's intent there, you're finished.
Yeah, even if it looks like your heads are close.
Listen, if you swing a dig at somebody and miss, you're off anyway.
But he didn't. If he'd have sneezed on him, it would have been something different. It was literally like that. It was nothing. There wasn't even a forward motion with his head.
Yeah.
It just looked all wrong. But unfortunately, he got sucked in. That's one of them. That's always going to be given.
Just on the Liverpool one, I think this is a case of a refereeing an occasion rather than a game. You know, Ipswich were caught for a couple of bookings. I was trying to look it up earlier. I should have.
It was 3 in the first
They
half.
had 3 in the first 20, 25 minutes, and you're kind of going, if this game, I actually thought at the time, if this game gets stretched, you know, a couple of days could be in trouble. But Kev,
it's a second yellow, isn't it?
It is a second yellow. It is, and look, I think if we'd have lost that game or drew that game, we would have been kicking up about it, and people would have said, you're just giving out because you know you didn't win the game and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Kev, like, it just is a second yellow card. Like, there's, you know, they have Wolfenden, Hutchison and Wes Burns booked in the first 24 minutes. I think Gakpo gets booked late on in the game for a booking for Liverpool. But Kev, if he's not refereeing the occasion here, he's literally going bang, second yellow. You've deliberately handballed the ball. Any other situation on the pitch, it's, you know, if he's not on a yellow, he's getting a yellow. And I hate this stuff where, and I hate this stuff of, you know, he was on a yellow already. Well, that doesn't give you a license. The whole idea of getting a yellow card is to restrict you from doing it again. It's not to give you a license or free license to do something and get away with it because you've already had a booking. And
you know what I mean? That was a mentality years ago that if you got a yellow card right, you'll probably have one more before, you know, you're in the red card territory. Because back years ago, referees would do all they could to try to keep 11v11 as much as possible.
Yeah.
But in fairness, that was a second yellow. I'm glad we won the game, and you can say that. You can say that it should have been, because you're right. It would have looked all kinds of sour grapes.
But has the PGMOL or whatever who's running this Twitter account? I don't even know the name of the Twitter account. I just know there's one, because I couldn't bring myself to fucking look at it because it annoyed me. But if they come out and said, on this decision in the Ipswich versus Liverpool game, the player should have been given a second yellow. It was an error by the referee. So it's not really a communication tool. It's an excuse tool.
It's a communication tool. It's there for when VAR makes a decision. Not a blow by blow of instances that happen in a game. It's only there to explain why a VAR decision was made.
But maybe it should have went to VAR. Maybe the referee should have went and said, I'm blown up here. Can you have a look at it? If that's deliberate, if that's actually deliberate, I have to send this guy off.
I wish VAR was allowed to do that.
No, but I'm saying, for the ref.
I think they should.
For the ref, like, at the end of the day, it's actually a red card decision. So, the referee why can't the referee? And again, I'm going down this road where I'm asking loads of questions about the PGMOL, but I feel like they need to be asked. Why can't the ref turn around and go, listen, that guy's on a yellow. He's just handballed the ball. It may have hit his hand, and I'm going to give a free because that's what happens. But I need you to look at this because actually this is a potential red card. And we've seen it before. Tackle goes in, and I want that checked potential red card offence. That's a potential red card. Just
the only time I've seen, and I agree with you. I think VAR should be used a lot more than what it is. Because it's a fucking great tool to be used by referees if they're allowed to use it. But I've seen it where yellow cards have been given and VAR have got involved and said, no, you need to upgrade that card to a red. You know, but that's really for tackles. You should be allowed as a referee to use it. I'm not quite sure. I know it's a handball, but I don't know if it's deliberate or I don't know if it's accidental. And if it's deliberate, it's a booking leading to a red card. I need to be right on this. Can you check?
Yeah,
you know, and that's all you're asking.
But then again, you see, but that whole process is perfect for A, ref getting the decision correct, and B, protecting the referee. Mm-hmm. The whole idea around VAR is the virtual assistant referee.
Yeah.
Right? Which means they are assisting the referee, and assistance, by definition, is helping. So why can't we help them? Why can't we help them? Why can't he at any stage go, I'm refereeing the game, you're on VAR, I can just go onto my earpiece and go, Kev, listen, that's a yellow, or that's a handball, but I have a feeling he might have just done that deliberately. And if he does, I think a deliberate handball is a yellow card, and I'm going to have to send him off here, Kev. Kev has a look at it and goes, I think it is deliberate. Go and have a quick look. Have a quick look. It is deliberate. Second yellow, red. Thanks a million. Good work, and we're off. And
Yeah.
it's you know
I
what I mean.
don't get why not. I don't get
No, I'm not. No, I understand a little bit, because then you get things like, I'm not too sure if that was a corner. I'm not too sure if that was a throw in. And next of all, every decision has been. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to, if you're going to give an offence to somebody, if you see a tackle and you think that's a foul, right? And the ref's not sure because he mightn't have had a view of it. A little bit like the one at Sheffield United last year, Holgate on Matoma, right? Referee gives a free, but he doesn't actually see it properly until he's told, listen, you might have to go and look at this. So the VAR and the ref should be working together going, even if the ref doesn't see it and thinks, oh, and the VAR are able to go, do you know what? You might want to have a look at that. They should be allowed to step in. They should be allowed to step in to assist him. And then if he feels like he needs assistance, go and ask for it. Not on specific incidents like offsides, goals, red
and
cards.
The referee are in constant communication all the time.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't it be any different to the guy who's got a bucket loads of screens in front of him and every camera angle known to man?
But this is the thing. They just keep creating situations for themselves. And it's very easy. It's very easy for them. But I think...
I'll be there in 1 second. I'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. I think the actual easier way out of this for referees and for the PGMOL is to just go, look, they're not communicating. That's the end of it. And we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? And just keep making up situations. I'll read some stuff out here while he's gone off. Ashley says, it's opening a can of worms letting them use VAR more. I don't trust the guys using the tech enough to have more ref involvement. Ashley, I see exactly where you're coming from with that, right? And but the thing is, right, the reason I feel you don't trust them is probably ability. I'll give you that. But the reason you don't actually trust them, in my opinion, and I could be completely wrong, and feel free to tell me I'm wrong, the reason I don't think people trust VAR to become involved more is, again, going back to they always have a default position where they can't be touched. It's as simple as that. And I've always said, I've said it, and I'm banging on about it, and people are fucking sick and tired of listening to it. But honest to God, if you mic up a referee and the VAR guys live, where they can literally be listened to, and can you check that? Yeah, boom, 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 boom. There's the process right in front of you. The decision, the on-field decision is a handball. Yeah, the on-field decision is fine, but it's actually a yellow card. You need to send them off. Right, perfect. And everyone knows what's going on. And the reason I feel, actually, that people don't trust it, and I think they're right not to trust it, is because they have a default position. And they shouldn't have a default position. Not with all that technology, not with the stuff they have available to them, and not with the time they have to make the decision. I completely get it. If you go back 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, wherever it is, and you go, I actually seen one today. It was I think it might have been a reel on Instagram or something. And it was actually the time United beat Arsenal 2-0 at Old Trafford. It's the time fucking Gary Neville tried to break Reyes in half. Lundberg goes down, going through and goal. Ferdinand takes him down, doesn't get anything for it. And then Rooney dives in the box over to Sol Campbell, non-tackle, and gets a penalty. And, you know, at that time, I remember that game, and people saying, well, the ref only has a split second to make that decision. You know, and you're kind of going, he gets it wrong, but I understand that. But they don't have that anymore. They've loads of time. They've loads of time. And they've all the facilities to them. So if you actually put the emphasis on the referee dictates when he uses VAR, what he uses it for. And I'm not talking about corners and throws. I'm talking about, is that a second yellow? That tackle there, he's seconds late on giving a yellow, but I might need to just let me have a look at it. Just open the thing up to them and let them explain themselves. And honest to God, you won't need a Twitter account. You won't need Dale, whatever his name. You won't need fucking Howard Webb having the most boring conversation in the world with one of the most boring people in the world every week. You just won't need it. And I know every time this comes up, I get so fucking animated, but it just really, really fucking gets to me as to how, with all this at their disposal, they still find ways to be incompetent and constantly getting themselves.
Don't help themselves.
Yeah, constantly.
That's the frustrating thing, is because look, I still am a big fan of VAR, because I think
so am I.
Yeah, if it's used as long as it's used properly, you will get the right decisions a lot more often than you get wrong with. You're going to get the odd wrong decision, but as long as that odd decision is very rare and infrequent, then you know it it still weighs up better having it than not having it. But as I said, over the whole weekend, out of 10 games, and especially the first game of the season, you expect it to be a lot hotter on certain things. And you expect the blood pressures to be, tackles flying in, what have you, football's back. I thought it was a very quiet weekend for that side of it. There wasn't too much out of the way, that happened that were like, lighting up the headlines today. Everything, you wake up this morning and everything's, it's back to transfers. It's back to
well, that's
who's
just
going where.
the
I know,
hysteria around transfers that's going to build over
there
the
really
next 10
wasn't
days.
any eventful howler that happened over the weekend to dominate headlines.
Yeah.
Whereas, I suppose when the transfer window closes, there'll be a lot more focus.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I just think, they've year after year they've opportunities to do the right thing here, do the sensible thing, and give the referee the control back. Referee tells the VAR when he wants him. But again, if you do that, you're focusing in on one person, and then that one person's nowhere to run to. And I'm fully convinced that the way they've set this up is, there might be 3 people involved, but there's no way of blaming any of them 3. You can't lay the blame on any of them because you don't know what's going on really, and that's where it is. And when they come out with things like, with players and staff and commentators and all have been asked to lay off on the PGMOL this season, will you give me a fucking break? You know what I mean? Why don't you lay off on fucking us, having us to fucking put up with that shit every fucking day of the week? Carl says his name is Christmas Eve, but it's actually Carl, right? He just won't change his fucking YouTube name. I guarantee the referee said to the assessor, in his opinion, it was accidental 100%, and it will be accepted. Yeah, of course it will, because no one else knows what's going on. We're not going to stay for another massive amount of time, but transfer wise, the stuff around Mamardashvili continues to rumble on. It looks like it's £40 million now, and I'm convinced that this price keeps rising. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm nearly sure I was reading last week it was like 30 million, then it was 35, now it's 40, and I'm like, is nobody paying attention to this fucking number rising here? But again, Kev,
see, I first thought it was euros, and then someone said pounds.
I
thought it was 34 million pounds, and we were at 29.
No, you see, I thought it was 30 million euros, right?
Right.
And then I seen something saying they want 35 million pounds, right? And then it was like, they'll pay the 30, Liverpool are paying the 30, with Bournemouth paying 5 as a loan fee for the 2 years. And now it's like 40. And I'm like, even if it's euros or not pounds, it's not adding up here.
No,
it's not adding up numbers wise. But listen, I think this one for me is something they definitely want to get done. They wouldn't be trying if they didn't.
Yeah,
but it's one of those things. It's one of those things where
Spain,
there was a bit of noise at the start saying Liverpool are looking into this, and there's been nothing on Liverpool's side since.
No,
the noise coming out was Valencia, and they want that, and the tensions are rising, and this, and you're like, well, where are the fucking tensions rising? You know, you have a price, sit there and say yes or no to it. But Kev, again, like, noise or no noise, Liverpool, it's I'm not saying widely known, but it's fairly well known that Liverpool are trying to get this deal done. If they need to get, if they have to get it done, they have to get it done here, Kev, because this will look like another one where they've gone in and went, much as you want, okay, and then just sat around their hands and then went, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're going in at 29 million, for argument's sake, and they're saying their initial thing was 34, and then it starts creeping up and up and up, at some point, they're just going to say, you're messing us here. You're messing us about, take it down to the deadline and thinking that we're going to panic. And we've already showed, we've a history of it. They'll walk away and they'd rather walk away and lose out on the one rather than look like they panicked and will pay anything as long as you hold out long enough. And I mean, when I first saw it, I thought the gap in the figures isn't massive. There's a deal to be done there, and you'll make it back on a loan fee wherever he ends up.
It's definitely rising. It's definitely rising.
If it starts rising anymore, and you start seeing more figures coming out anywhere over 40, they'll knock it on the head. Because they'll look elsewhere.
If it was 30 million euros, right, That's about £27 million, I think.
Yeah,
£27 million.
it's not far off.
If it was £30 million, you're looking at 33 to 34 million, right? In euros, right? And I've definitely seen 30 million as a number, right?
So have I.
So I don't know how you've gone to 40 million, whether it's euros or pounds. I don't know how you've got there. Because it was 30 million. If it was £30 million, it's 34 million euros, equivalent
Yeah.
of. But it's certainly not 40 million euros.
No way. No
So
way, shape,
it's
or form.
definitely rising. And people are saying to me, no, it was definitely 40 million, definitely 40 million. It wasn't. It wasn't,
No.
because
And I mean, in
the
fairness,
number going
the
number going around was 30 million. 30 million was definitely the number, and now it's 40. So I don't know whether they're trying to get a few quid more off it. But listen, we know how this rolls.
I mean, they weren't. I have a feeling that it's getting really late in the window, and I think they're trying to angle a way of doing a deal and keeping him for 6 to 12 months. Either keeping him up until January, giving him that little bit of time to get someone in that they want to target, or try to keep him for this season, and maybe look to bring someone in themselves next summer. That's what it feels like, is because the longer it drags on, the more difficult it's going to be for Valencia to get a keeper in.
Yeah.
Let
We'll have,
alone,
we'll have to wait and see, because I think there's only, is it 11 days left now?
yeah, it's what,
11.
August 30th.
Yeah, Friday, isn't it? Friday week.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
We'll have to wait and see. Joe Gomez, we were talking about that last night. There's no new information there. There's been no real information since he was in the squad on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. If you look at Chelsea, it looks like they're signing Joe Felix, with Conor Gallagher going the other way. You're telling me Brighton have signed Ruther off Leeds for £40 million.
Yeah.
And Leeds are losing the plot because they've sold him, they've sold Somerville, they've sold RG Gray, and I think if you add all them up, you're probably looking around £90 million, or £100 million probably. And they haven't really looked like bringing any big names in. They're being linked with another fella, Clark, isn't it? He used to be a winger for them. He's with Sheffield United now, I think. There's talk of him going back. Yeah. There's talk of him going back there. I've seen that with Leeds. I'm only bringing it up because the Leeds have sold a striker to Brighton. And after that, there's nothing. The Moreno one to Arsenal. I'm not too
Fulham
sure.
have made a bid. Fulham have made a bid for Sander Berg.
Oh yes.
And apparently Fulham want McTominay as well.
Yeah, but McTominay apparently, what I read, agreed. Has agreed terms with Napoli. I've read as well.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Napoli apparently are in for McTominay, but they don't have the fucking money to buy him.
Well, apparently PSG have knocked it on the head that they're not interested in doing anything with Victor Osimhen.
Yeah,
and with Chelsea doing that deal for João Felix, you wonder what will happen with Victor Osimhen. I don't think he'll go anywhere. The other one, it came out there. Wolves are looking to do a deal for a loan with an option to buy for Aaron Ramsdale.
Oh, okay.
Which means more than likely Jose Sa could be on the way out.
Yeah.
And Nottingham Forest are looking to do a deal to get Eddie Nketiah.
I was
they've had a 25 million deal. Yeah, they've had a 25 million deal offer rejected, but they reckon Forest will go back in again.
Yeah, and I was talking. I asked an Arsenal fan on Twitter today about that, because I was like, every time I read fucking Eddie Nketiah's name, there's a new name, and they're like, yeah, Forest, Marseille. There's been about 4 or 5 clubs, and the guy was saying to me, I just can't keep up with what's going on with Eddie Nketiah. But it feels to me like Arsenal need an Eddie Nketiah deal to happen if they want to make any further signings in the summer.
Moreno, if they want to get Mikel Moreno,
yeah, they need to do something with Eddie Nketiah. Yeah. But other than that, it's quiet enough. There's 11 days to go. If Joe Gomez leaves,
a lot of gossip.
If Joe Gomez leaves, you'd argue Liverpool probably need 3. And then if they are going to do something in the forward sense, I think they're going to sign if Liverpool are going to sign a forward, it needs one of them to leave, and I can see that being a deadline day. I can see someone leaving Liverpool on deadline day and Liverpool bringing someone in. That's how tight I think that'll go.
The thing that came out today with Barcelona and Ilkay Gundogan, apparently he's been told he can leave, and by all accounts he's told his agent he wants to go back to Man City.
He signed there
He's
on a
got
free, didn't he?
he signed on a free. He's got 2.5 years left on his contract.
So they're trying to get a few quid back.
Yeah, but I can't imagine he's going to walk out because it was funny enough. I was chatting to Chris earlier on, and we were trying to work out how much De Jong's contract is. He's on 730
Yeah,
something
he's on. Yeah, but I was reading something about this
thousand
the other day.
euro a
Yeah,
week.
but he's on that because he was on a certain amount. I think it might be in like 400,000, and
Yeah,
they
it's gone
deferred
up.
payment. They deferred payment. That's what the owe him between now and the end of the contract. That's what on weekly what they owe him. Do you get me?
He's owed in the region of 75 million euro
Yeah,
between
it's
from now
ridiculous.
until the end of his contract.
Yeah, it's
So
ridiculous.
you can't imagine that Ilkay Gundogan is going to walk out of Barcelona for free
No,
and forfeit his contract,
yeah,
even
no,
if
he's
he
got.
is allowed to go
But
back to Man City on a free.
City, you'll have to sign him to pay the money.
Exactly, yeah.
Barcelona are going to
Yeah.
want some money off this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you know, even if City turn around and go, right, we take you back for free and we'll pay you the wages Barcelona are paying you. Maybe that works. Maybe.
Maybe because at least
but why would
he plays.
why would Gundogan do that? Like,
I suppose at the end of the day, he's at the
he maybe
stage in
just
his
wants to play
career
football.
where
He
he
wants
wants
to
to
get out.
play.
What age is he?
I think he's 32.
Yeah, if he was a year or two
32,
younger, I'd be
33.
all over him. To be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I think he's a fabulous footballer. I think
Yeah.
he's a fabulous footballer.
Yeah.
But with that kind of a deal being someone who could free up a good chunk of wages at Barcelona, you wonder where they will go. It'll be crazy. I think the next 2 weeks, the next week and a half, the next 9-10 days are going to be absolutely bananas.
34.
Because there's so many.
Jesus.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah,
there's-
34. I
there's-
thought he was
there's-
42 as well.
Yeah, there's so many clubs out there that are short. Man City are as short as we are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ashley says
when you
Napoli
look
have
at-
paid 30 million loan to buy for Lukaku, got rejected.
Yeah. The other thing as well, you look at the squad that we put out on Saturday. You named, was it 11 starters? Was it 9 on the bench? Or
Yeah.
9 on the bench. The only name that missed out was Joe Gomez. Everyone else you looked at who wasn't on the bench are players that you'd look at and say, well, you shouldn't be here anyway, and you should be playing with the under-21s.
Yeah.
So we are short. We literally are at least 3 players short.
Yeah.
For where
Well,
we
I
need
think
to
if Gomez leaves, I think that the number is probably 3. At the moment, I think the number is 2. But listen, we have to wait and see. And like I said, if September the 4th or October the 24th comes and nothing's happened, there'll be a lot of people having to answer a lot of fucking questions, in my opinion. I think it's as much as you like to give people time and you like to respect their decision and their look on it, i.e. Slot, Richard Hughes, whoever it might be. There's, for me, losing those players and then not signing anybody, I think there's a bit of blind faith there for me, just a bit.
It's a joke. It's
nonsense. There's a bit of blind faith there, in my opinion. And listen, as I've said before, they live and die by these decisions.
They live and die by results.
Yeah.
They live and die by results at the end of the day. And it doesn't matter whether the manager's on his first season or his 5th season.
Exactly.
It's results.
Yeah.
It's events.
Exactly. Anyway, I think we're done. We've covered loads of contracts there. We've covered all the incidents from the weekend. Still not over. I noticed our friend Emma was in the chat there. He's awake tonight. Fair play to him.
Happy birthday, Emma.
Happy birthday, Emmett. He's definitely buying the 4th point in Dublin Airport Saturday morning. That's all I'm going to say. And I'll probably make him buy me breakfast as well, to be honest. To carry on.
Usual spot?
Yeah, usual spot, yeah. Usual spot. But no, with regards to the rest of the week, listen, the transfer stuff's going to heat up, so we will be doing that. We'll see, it's much easier to run these things when you have a game during the midweek because you can kind of fix things around that game and stuff like that. But
there's only one game this week. I think Chelsea are the only team this week.
Yeah, they're playing in conference qualifiers or something. Yeah, but I think when Liverpool are playing, it's easier when you're playing 3 days, every 3-4 days, because it's much easier shows wise. But we'll definitely be doing something. I'd say Wednesday, definitely Friday, and then over the weekend, me and Emma are away, so we're looking at possibly doing a show on Saturday. a little half an hour show over a pint. We don't know what we're doing Sunday because we usually do our post-match show and then we do our Sunday night show. But with the bodies that aren't there, we might just amalgamate it all into one show at 10 o'clock. We haven't decided yet, but you'll definitely get a show after the game on Sunday. And then on Monday, we might just sit down and have a pint and do another show for you. So, yeah, there we go. That's the plan for the rest of the week. Football prizes, the link is in the description. I think that closes, might close already actually. You might be struggling. But it's in the description. I think it closes tomorrow actually at 7 p.m. Diaz and Szoboszlai double signed and framed jersey. There's 18 instant prizes and they include signed jerseys from, I think it's Elliot Gakpo. There's 3 or 4 in there. McAllister might be one. I'm doing it off the top of my head because my notes have disappeared off the screen. But check it out, $3.95 a ticket. And yeah, you might have a chance of winning an instant prize before the draw is made. Or when the draw is made. Diaz and Szoboszlai 2 jerseys signed and framed together, one big frame that you can stick in your sitting room or your kitchen or whatever on the front of your gaff, doesn't matter. But that's football prizes. The fancy football is up and running with Phil. Thanks a million to everyone that done that. I think he's raised about £500 for charity on that alone, which is perfect. And the link for the in the description, we have got our links for our charities, which is Fan Support and Fuel Banks and the Lighthouse in Dublin. And listen, please donate if you can. If you can't, share. I think it's going to get to the stage where we're going to have to do more events to raise money for this. I was thinking maybe could we do a live one? Could we set up equipment and have a live show and charge people in the door to watch the live show with everything going to charity? I think we could. So that's in my head. That's in my head at the moment. I'm not promising that, but we might do something where, now not a big thing. We're not fucking into that, but we're more thinking like if 50 people go, pay 20 quid each, it's 1,000 for charity. We'll do something on the day as well, and see what we can raise because we want to get to that 10 grand. We won't stop till we get to it, but it's so fucking slow at the moment. And I understand people are struggling, but it's so slow at the moment. So we probably need to kickstart somewhere. So the link is in the description. You want to give us a fiver. It's so heartwarming when you get a fiver or a tenner through and go for me. You're like, oh, people are still listening, thank God. But they're two brilliant organisations. One in Liverpool, one in Dublin. So please help us out if you can. Round of limoncellos on me, says Emma. You're not allowed on that anymore. Like, genuinely not allowed now. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I reckon you could just drink coffee all weekend, to be honest with you. But listen, he had a great time for his birthday. It's his birthday every week, as with Emma. It's always his birthday. Anything else before we go, Kev?
No, just if people are listening on Spotify and you want to become a member, $3.99 a month, and get involved in the Telegram group as well. There's always people in there every hour of the day, and if you're ever bored and want to get in for a chat, it's always lively, always entertaining, always good natured as well. So
yeah. So for this season, what we're doing is we're trying to alternate the shows. So we'll have one show one day that'll be like, free to everybody. The next one will be free to watch, but only members can comment. And then the one after that, like this one, is members only. And that's what we're trying to do. We've ran it by our members. They're all good with that. It's $3.99 a month. Of course, you do get access then to the private Telegram group, which is always good crack as well. And $3.99 a month. It's worth it. We put on plenty of shows. You're probably getting... You
can even buy a coffee for that these days.
Yeah, you're getting 20, 25 shows a month anyway, I think, at this rate. Yeah. But out of those, you will get the 25 of them live. You will be able to comment on them all, and you get them all before they go for download. And of course, you get in the Telegram group, which is a bit mental, but it's good at the same time. That's it. We're gonna go. We've done really well there, Kev. I'm so fucking proud of us, because we're at 49 minutes and we haven't gone over the hour, and we're the best boys. We should be back. We'll see. We're back tomorrow. We'll definitely be back a couple of nights during this week. And if any big transfer news breaks, we will be all over it. Just one last thing for the members. The kids are nearly back in school. And when the kids go back to school, I think we should bring back the 30 at 10 a.m. every morning, where I come on. If people are around and want to come on with me, they can. But we just talk about football and random nonsense that's happening in everybody's lives, and we discuss it. I think we should bring it back. We're having a look at it, and we'll let you know in due course. That has been the Talkin Kop. Thanks a million to Kev. Thanks a million to everyone in the chat, except for Emma. And we'll talk to you soon. Over and out.